Prix.
Hi, David.
This is Season 10 of the Championship Dart Circuit, and we are coming to you live from Niagara Falls, New York.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Niagara Falls, New York for today's event, the Galaxy Grand Prix, main event number 11 on the 2024 Championship Dart Circuit, the road to the Continental Cup Tour Finals Championship in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, October 18th and 19th. My name is Anthony Eugenia, and I'm going to be joined by today's action by Mr. David Garfinkel. Let's bring in David. How are you, sir?
Absolutely thrilled to be here, Anthony, sitting alongside you virtually as we look at some incredible matchups that we have and incredible races as they start to play out towards the end of the year.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff coming out of yesterday. Really interesting stuff. We had the Cosmo Darts Championship, and Leonard Gates picked up that title, and then the man in your camera frame, Jim Long, picked up the CDC Bash at the border, and a lot of movement in the tour points for the year, with David Cameron seemingly having a brick wall in Kylie Edmonds yesterday. Jim Long's victory moved him up to third provincially as we move ahead in the points, and we'll go over some of that today. Jacob Taylor had a good day and moved up. So we've got Jim Long and Justin Fawcett here for you on our feature board. We're here on PDC TV and, of course, YouTube. And then we've got Stream 2 action. Kicks off with Alex Spellman and Daniel Inman, and that coverage is on PDC Channel 2 and Facebook. So Mr. Long and Mr. Fawcett, give us a little skinny on these boys.
Well, talking with Justin, he said he has never beat Jim, ever. CDC,
well, that's promising.
Wherever they played, he said he almost had Jim once. He jumped out to a 2-0 lead and then lost 5-2. So that was the closest he's come to beating Jim. So he's confident and relaxed going into this one.
Okay, but so we'll keep tabs on that, and we've got Trish Grezik getting up to score. So we've got an all-Canadian affair to kick us off, as close to
keeping
the
it in
Canadian
the red, white, and red
as we get today, as we get this year. So we're off and running.
So we'll see if Jim has any little bit of a post-game hangover from the win yesterday and two long events yesterday he played in. So
yeah, we had him on our podcast a little over a week ago, and we talked about that. He said he wasn't bothered by 2-a-days, but you have a good point in that. What does the hangover feel like? And I mean that just in a physical and mental, going to the final and winning the second event, and
going to a semifinal in the first one.
Yeah, how does the mind and the body feel waking up this morning? Yeah, no, I mean that's exactly like you said, a semi and a victory propelled him up to third. So
11 out of a possible 12 matches yesterday.
And that's a day. And, he and it was a calculated, sort of play for him this weekend, right? I mean, it wasn't a guarantee that he was going to be in attendance, correct?
Absolutely. He had, obviously, the Modus Champions Week starts on Monday, sitting in Group A, and it was kind of, am I close enough? Do I think I can make a move to make a play for Ali Pally? And he thought he was close enough with a good weekend, and a top 4 and a W has catapulted him up those rankings and into a solid position going into the final weekend and this weekend's final event.
So he technically turned down an invite to Group A of the Modus when people are not unfamiliar with the Modus Super Series. It takes place in England. It's a weekly tournament. Like there's a tournament every single week over I think a 12-week span. They have sort of different sessions, and the winner of each of those 12 weeks, and Jim was one of them, get an automatic bid into Champions Week. And Jim
Well,
Long puts
no,
two
no
darts.
hangover there.
Nope.
Nope.
96 in 2 darts. So we're off and running here at the Galaxy Grand Prix. Jim Long holds his throw, and with David giving us a little bit of that insight, we got to watch these first couple of legs and see if Justin, knowing that he has yet to get past Jim in an event, sort of what that does to his psyche if we see how much of a fight he's putting up. So yeah, so Jim had a chance, and so he turned down the A group, which means he would have had to play on Monday, and he'll be in the C group, which I think plays on Thursday and Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday morning, I believe is when they go at it, and then the top 2 from that will make it to Saturday finals night. What I actually didn't know going into this that Jim informed me was how they decide who goes in A, who goes in B, who goes in C, and that's all based on their week's average when they won the week. So Jim finished with the 6th highest average out of the 12 players, which earned him that spot in A that he had to turn down.
Yeah, if you've got 12 equal winners, I can see you've got to determine some sort of listing. So, you're a winner, and then how did you play is the capper on that. So that's pretty cool. So David and I will keep tabs on, as we obviously open up this event with Long and Fawcett, and we'll stay with you at the break in between these first 2 matches, and we'll give you a look out on the tournament floor, let you know what's breaking on the in the bracket, what the draw looks like, any interesting results that come across the wire.
Absolutely. I mean, best one to watch is Kylie Edmonds potentially with a top 32 clash once again with Dave Cameron.
David Cameron has a bye, correct? And then
correct.
Kylie's got a match in front. So if Kylie wins in the last 64, it'll be a last 32 matchup between Cameron and Edmonds again. And we just saw Jim inside the wire on the double 12.
Yeah, it would have been a tidy 15 darter for him. He's picking up right where he left off yesterday, that's for sure.
Absolutely. 3 ton plus scores in here. First dart in double 6. Yep. Jim's looking dangerous and deadly right out of the gate. And, Justin's back there going, oh boy, here we go again.
Here we
go again. And quite honestly, I'm sure, the field is over in the practice area probably is keeping tabs on this as well. And like you just said, Jim is sort of picked up right where he left off. This is the last Aki he was on last night right here on the feature board, and wakes up today. Boom, first match right on the feature board. Keeps rolling.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing that I picked up from Justin that actually surprised me. So he's been a tour card holder since 2020. Won it at a Q school. Has not missed a tour event. But even prior to when he got his tour card, obviously CDC used to do the qualifiers on site, and he went to every single CDC tour stop and qualified as a qualifier. He says he has never missed a single CDC event.
That I did not know. I obviously, being privy to all the registration and all that stuff, have known, how long like Justin has come to compete, and he's always been a good attitude and a good chat. What I mean behind the scenes, he's always expressed that desire to compete with the best, to be on the circuit. But I didn't realize that he had a continual record of success coming through the open qualifiers before he became a tour card holder. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, when he told me that, I was like just the Canadian stops when this. He's like, oh no, he's like, I would go to every single CDC stop as a qualifier. I would travel. I would play. I wanna play with the best.
So Jim going the 16s route with Justin back on 220. So tops for Jim when he comes back in leg 3, looking to open up a pretty massive 3-0 lead in a race to 5, and against an opponent who has expressed the and acknowledged the idea that I've never beat him. So 3-0 for Jim Long, and I want to
3 for 4
address
on the
something.
doubles for Jim Long.
He's
So
crisp and cool.
Yep.
So people have asked how the groups get picked and why do we see certain players. I mean, in a way, we've seen a lot of Jim this weekend. We have 2 streaming boards, and some things are new for us this year based on the gambling aspect this year, to work with the betting houses and have them better understand how we do things. We're now doing the draw as the week of the tournament opens up. So the draw got done at the beginning of the week, and then we go through the brackets and do our best job to pick boards to showcase, and then that's what we've got to send to the company that helps set the odds and do all that stuff. So essentially you've got the 8 boards that have 8 of the top 8 seeds on them, but we've got 6 streaming boards to choose from, right? So we try to share the wealth a little bit. So 6 out of the 8 top seeds, if you will, sort of get selected and assigned to be featured, and that's done midweek. So it's not as if Jim was super hot last night, so it's not a case of we woke up this morning and said, hey, let's put Jim on the feature board. This was decided on Wednesday that Jim's group was going to open up on the feature board. So, it's sort of weird that a lot of the other non-seeded players get moved around and have opportunities on more feature boards as the weekend goes on. It's up to the seeds to win and then keep playing, and that's what you saw with Jim. Jim was, like you said, we saw him in the semis in event 9, and then the finals in event 10, and now here he is as the main group on the feature board. So it's just sort of a pre-selection process, and then who are the players that make it into those quarters, semis, and finals that get the exposure, right?
Absolutely. And it's the 2 cardinal rules. You want to be on stream and you want to not chalk. Win. As long as you keep winning, you won't be chalking and you'll make it to a stream.
Well, those are the tournament rules out on the tournament floor. Loser scores. So if you lose a match, you stay on that board and score. So Jim with tops in leg 4.
Game shot in the 4th leg.
Boy, oh boy, Jim's looking crisp and
Jim
really
to throw
good.
First. Game on.
Yeah, 4 for 5 on the doubles now, carrying just below a 90 average. And he'll tell you yesterday he didn't play well, according to his 59 standards. And I looked right at him and said, "Well, if you could get a top 4 and a W not playing well, these people are in trouble. If you're playing
well, sign me up. You 60. Betcha."
And on the floor, Kylie has come through his first round match, setting up that match with David Cameron in the top 32.
180.
That's a 180 for the gentleman, Jim Long. Yeah, I would hazard a guess that there might be a little bit of a crowd that might form around that Cameron Edmonds game.
45.
Oh, absolutely.
I have to send Irene to go out there and stream it.
134.
Nick Lindbergh coming through his match 5-2 over Gino Florian with about a 93 average. So it's the level of play in this room has picked up immensely over
55.
The years, the weekends, the months. It's unbelievable to see.
You get those averages, those higher averages earlier in the tournament. We get to see matchups
81.
in last 64, but and certainly in the last 32 that occasionally could be semis or finals, and you get players playing like you just said, throwing 92 averages in the first couple of rounds. It's absolutely brilliant.
41.
And here we go. Jim Long strides to the Aki with 47 remaining. to advance into the next round.
39.
Just inside the wire, and he's going to come back.
Yeah, he put on a strong scoring leg. Justin a little bit behind here, so
140.
Jim has time as he celebrates the 140.
Gives you
Big smile on his
Bronx,
face.
the whole Bronx cheer. Double two.
Game shot and the
double
match.
two goes in for Jim. Wraps things up nice and tidy, and Justin just sort of acknowledges that's 90 average, crisp on his doubles. I'm sure our stat guys are throwing some stats in there.
Finished 5 for 9 on the doubles.
5 for 9.
4 of the misses coming in that last leg. So 4 for 5 going into that last leg.
For the Jim Long fans, you've got to feel, and there's the misses coming through, always by his side. You've got to feel energized that another big day is coming up. Another substantial run at least. Get into the quarterfinals.
He would hope. Jeff Springer has something to say about that because he wasn't happy with his 2 top 16s to Jim yesterday.
Yeah, it's a tough little group. So let's talk about that first. We'll talk about who's on our group here. We saw Long play Fawcett, and then coming up next is Levi Kransel and Jason Roker, both players that have had pretty good seasons. We've seen both of them on different streams. Need to check let me pull up the rankings. I know Jason Roker has broke into the top 25.
Yep, he is currently 24th. I have it up right now for you.
So is Kransel on that top 25? Oh, I got to get mine set up. Yeah, so we're going to sit here and do some admin. Okay, but he's, I'm sure if I went deeper into that list.
He's currently 38th at 12.5 points.
Yeah. Let me download the top 25.
Roker, who's 24th at 18.5. So, only 6 points separate them. That's not a lot. Roker currently looking at being about 12 points down of a Continental Cup spot. But, as we've seen, Jim Long came into this weekend 28 points down of Dave Cameron. And, well, here we are.
It's making some movement. Pardon me. And the group gets even deeper. In match 3, we see Jeff Springer take on Brandon Goddard, and Springer coming in as the 11 seed because Jim Long is a 6, so the 6 and 11 get on the same board. And I saw Jeff post last night, as you said, a little disappointed in his performance yesterday, but acknowledging that he's come up against Jim each of the events yesterday, and as we talked about, the inform that Jim is, so some work for Springer to do there, but Jeff has been in the 2 weekends in Chicago certainly one of the hottest players on the roster, and he takes on Brandon Goddard, and we saw Brandon yesterday, and Brandon was quite impressive. We liked this form. He scored well, came up a little short, and trying to see who he played. I've got my notes from yesterday.
Brandon is a heck of a shot. We obviously know his son from the youth tour.
His son,
Ben Goddard.
Yep.
And Brandon wanted his tour card. He was one of those ones that you saw at almost every single Q school. He was determined to get his card, wanted to be on tour this year, and eventually picked it up at the Early Bird in Mississippi.
Yeah, which is a little bit of travel for him. And you were there. You were running that tournament for us.
I was. That's him and Doug Dimichel picked up their tour cards at that one. Douglas currently playing in the Evo Tour as well as the main tour when he's able to play in both.
D. McKelly, I believe. I wrote it down.
Is it D. McKelly? Okay.
D. McKelly. I just got it so wrong in Chicago. I said I need to be prepared for the young man.
It's another beam for Stone.
Yes, a little bit. Yeah, we saw Brandon. We saw Brandon take on Adam Savada, lose 5-3, but looked pretty impressive. So Springer Goddard is a match that I'm interested in seeing, and then a great way to sort of put a cap on the group. We've got the 3-time world champion back on our feature board. John Part taking on associate player Davey Main, originally from Northern Ireland, now resides in Canada, and Davey got a chance to play a couple of weekends ago as an associate player and was thrilled to join the ranks. So I think a pretty good spot for Davey Main to take on John Part on the feature board. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch.
Oh, absolutely. I think any one of those matches can go either way, including this one. It is going to be a great group that is going to be pretty unpredictable the whole way through.
Now on our Stream 2 board, we'll quickly give everybody a little sneak peek on that if you want to go check out that. Those games are on Facebook and the second channel on PDC. You've got Alex Spellman coming in. He's the 4th seed. Saw some good results out of him yesterday. He takes on Daniel Inman. That match is probably completed. We'll get some results on that. Mark Conti versus Jack Robinson.
Go ahead.
What's that?
Sorry.
Mark Conti playing. Give me the result.
Currently up 4-2. Missed a bowl for a 1-6-7 finish.
Spellman.
So it's he's in control of this deciding leg, this last leg.
Conti Robinson, Steve Warnock, the other seed on that board. Warnock is the 13, takes on Edward Pope. We saw Pope yesterday here on our feature as we get kicked off with Cransel Roker, and then rounding off the Stream 2 group is Chris Caldwell and Hossie Hicks. Is it Hossie or Hosie?
I believe it's Hossie.
Hossie, yeah, okay. I've been saying Hossie, so I just, again, you always want to get it right, folks, when you're sitting behind a microphone. You may make a mistake once or twice, but then you talk to the player and say, hey, we want to get it right. So here we go, underway. Levi Cransel and Jason Roker.
Yeah, 2 guys, first year on their tour. Both of them picked up their tour cards this year at Q schools, respectively. Levi at the Buckeye Open. Jason Roker picked his up at Virginia Beach Dart Classics Q school.
Both, 2 of the more fearsome Q schools, if you will. Fields vary in size and sometimes depth, and those are 2 of the tougher ones that get put on. So that tells you a little something right there about their skill set.
Absolutely. Jason was actually talking with him undecided. I remember because talking with him about playing it, and he told me he was undecided about signing up. And finally, 15 minutes before, he was like, all right, fine, I'll play. Because he traveled with the Goddards, and both Ben and Brandon were playing in it.